about how I learned the hard way personally that there are actually infinite timelines and multiple quantum versions of you because I died in a car accident when I was 17. Let's talk about it. So I have never told this story publicly. When I was 17, I didn't have an understanding of quantum mechanics at all. So for the last 20 years, I have thought I was crazy. It is part of the reason I have done such deep and extensive spiritual seeking and rabbit holing over many years, because I was really trying to understand what happened to me and know that I'm not crazy. And guess what? I'm not. And now that I know that, I'm going to go ahead and share it with you. Here is what happened. And I was on my way to church for a youth group meeting. Could you believe that? I know. So I was in the front passenger side. One of my friends was driving. There was another girl in the back seat behind the driver. We are going through a green light in front of a fire station. We're going through the green light at about 30. A stolen car runs the red light, 50 miles an hour, slams directly into my door. The car turns, he keeps going. It's a hit and run. Now, here's where this gets interesting. Impact happens. Of course, my door is crushed, my window breaks and all falls in. And I remember when the car stopped moving, and I will never forget this, it gives me the chills. I remember everything went black, and not the kind of black like when you close your eyes, the absence of anything. I couldn't even call it darkness because that would imply that there was some kind of other light. There was nothing. When I'm talking about nothing existed, nothing except for the sound of my voice through a thought that said, oh my God, I'm dead. And that's actually the tone in which my voice sounded to me. Like unbothered, not fearful, not sad, just a, oh shoot, okay, that was deep. When I'm talking about smooth. And within 2 minutes of me being in the void, I came back to the car, but with my eyes closed. And that's what's interesting is I instantly knew I was back in my body, and the darkness I was seeing was my eyes closed because I could hear traffic. I could hear people yelling. I could hear EMTs trying to open my door. Here's where it gets even crazier. Okay. As I came back into my body, I remember noticing that, and my eyes were still closed. And my first thought was, oh shoot, I'm not dead. Okay. Then my glasses must be broken into my eyes because I wear glasses, right? I open my eyes, the glasses aren't broken. And I'm like, how the hell is that possible? Before I could even complete that thought, EMTs are snatching my door open and screaming at me, don't move, don't move, don't move, don't move. They immediately put a neck brace on me in the car and lift me out of the car. I did not even walk away from that car accident. Here's where things get quantum and weird. I remember that. Except I also have a very clear memory of walking away from that car accident and calling my mom and saying, Mom, I was in a car accident, but don't worry, I'm fine. Meet me at St. Anthony's Hospital, which is in St. Petersburg, Florida. My mom met me at that hospital. But like I said, I was actually taken away in a stretcher, and there is no way I could have called my mother. So how the hell did she know to be at that hospital? Want to hear where it gets freakier? It gets even freakier. I was on that stretcher in the ER for an hour and a half, strapped to a stretcher with a neck brace on, which was highly uncomfortable, by the way. When they finally got me off of it to like put me now on a different, what do you call those things? Gurney, whatever, the bed, to roll me to get MRIs, the room right next to mine is my grandfather. We had no idea he was there. He had just had a heart attack. My grandfather had dementia. Didn't remember anybody, including my dad, his own son. None of us. He sat up in that bed, and I will never forget it. He sat up like this. He went, he looked like he had seen a ghost. Mind you, I said he would have no way of even recognizing me. And he just went through a major medical intervention, his darn self. Long story short, they rolled me to get MRIs. They released me from the hospital and tell me I have a chest contusion, but I'm fine. Went back to work 2 days later like nothing happened. But actually something did happen. Within a week of that, I quit my service club and I quit my dance team. And that is significant because this was the senior year, second semester. So I was on these teams and clubs all the way through high school, and literally the semester that matters most, the very end, I just quit like that. And remember I told you I was the president of my service club. Quit, didn't care. I changed so much that my mom sent me to therapy. And again, Jamaican mom sent me to therapy at 17, not typical. That therapist told me I was bipolar. I rejected that because I knew I wasn't. I went to a therapist in college a year or two later. She tried to tell me I was bipolar. I knew that was not correct. For 20 years, I have been thinking that I made this up. And I finally asked my mother earlier this year without any leading questions. I said, Mom, what do you actually think happened in that car accident? She goes, oh, you died. I hadn't told her any of this. I hadn't told her my theories, nothing. She was like, because, and the reason I know it is, there's no way you could have called me, but you did. One version of you called me, the other version of you did not. And that's just very simple. And once I learned about the idea that we all have infinite quantum versions that are slightly different based on slightly different circumstances and choices. This is actually why you have deja vu, because you're connecting with another version of you in another timeline. That I'm not crazy. And I did die. And I did go to the void. And I came on back. And now I'm here. And I came back with some extra stuff. But we'll talk about what that is in the next video if you want to hear it. I just had to share this to come out of the spiritual closet, because there might be somebody else who this happened to, who was raised in the church, who was told it's demonic, nothing happened to you, you're crazy, you're bipolar, maybe you even started taking the medication. And I want to tell you, you're not nuts. If you think that happened to you, it did. Because it can. Because our souls exist without our body. When I heard my voice go, oh, I'm dead, it was my voice and my thoughts without me. This didn't exist. It was gone. But my consciousness still remained. So that is a thing. So I'm just making this video to let you know you are not crazy. I'm not crazy. This universe, this world is far more layered and interesting than we were told in school. So do what you will with that information. Feel free to ask me many comments and the questions. I'll happily answer them. So all my quantum girlies and boys and theys and thems out there, we ain't crazy. We're just tapped into what's really going on down here. So just wanted to share that. And as always, love you.